Howdy. Welcome to another episode of Nuggets and Nonsense. Today we're going to talk a little bit about bats. These things in front of me are the bat houses that I build. Two of these are actually sold. One of these is gifts. But just kind of going to go through some bat boxes with you because you can buy them at the store. You can buy them online. And a lot of the ones that you find out there, they don't have the components that are going to be successful in having bats move into them. So if I can get one of these out of the way here. Now one thing you want to notice is if they have a dark color, because they got to hold the heat in. Bats want it around 80 degrees. It helps with the mating. It helps with their digestion after a long night of eating all the bugs for you. And the other thing is they need a gap where they can crawl up into. They like it about 3/4 inch to 1 inch is kind of on the big side. And another component is they gotta have a landing zone. And that's probably the biggest thing I see if you buy something from the store or online, is they don't have that landing zone. Bats don't land on a windowsill like a bird does. They land and then they crawl up. So I don't know if you can see it on the video, but this has some mesh on it where they can land here and crawl up in here. And there's also, the mesh goes all the way up to the top, and it's on the inside of this. And then the pole that I put these on goes up through here. We also put mesh around that. And then way up in there, there's some holes where they can climb from chamber to chamber. Because these big boys here, these are called rocket boxes. This is technically the style of bat box they are. They can hold up to about 300 bats. So a maternal colony is going to move in here. Not a bachelor group. You know, you don't want just the boys hanging out. You want the maternal colony. You want them having pups. You want them breeding. More bats. They're fantastic for the ecology. And the last thing, I guess, is what I like about these is they mount on a pole. They're freestanding. I'm sure you've seen some of the pictures on my Facebook page. If not, we're at Indy Valley Varmints on Facebook. And some of the ones you buy at the store, you mount them on the side of your house. Well, the point is you don't want them in your house. These ones go away from the house. You can get them in the sun because you want about 8 hours of direct sunlight on these things. That'll keep it nice and hot for the bats. Now this one, if you saw the top, I put metal roofs on all these before we hang them. I just don't put them on until I'm at the site where they're going. But as you can see, these are just some of the ones I've done for people around. I can put some pretty cool designs on them. This one is actually a gift for the Game Commission. Don't tell them, they don't know yet. So we put a nice deer on that side. And then this one over here is the family had 4 kids, so these are the kids' handprints. And they all put their names on. And then lastly, I never thought I'd paint a fairy on one, but that's what they wanted. But I freehanded that thing. I thought I did pretty good. And it's just got some butterflies, some dragonflies. Yeah. So we can paint these boys just about any way you want, as long as the base color is dark, because that's what holds in the heat. That's what's going to make them successful. We have quite a few of these up around the State College area, and I'd say we're at about 75% of the bat boxes that I put up have bats in them. We've had one in our backyard for 2 years now. Yes, 2 years, and we've had bats come to it both years, and it's just fantastic. The back of my house is right against the tree line. You don't need any bug spray when you're sitting out at my campfires. So they're just great for the ecology. I mean, they're great for the environment. And they're really cool animals. Most people think that they're wigging out and they're dive bombing it and everything else. They're not coming at you. With their echolocation, they know exactly where they are flying. They're not blind. I mean, they don't see that well, but they're not totally blind like everybody thinks. And they're just amazing animals. They're not going to harm you, but you don't want them in your house. So that's why you put one of these bad boys up. And the other thing is, when everyone hears bats, they always think of rabies. It's been proven that less than 3% of bats have rabies. And actually, there's a study that in 50 years, less than 10 people have gotten rabies from a bat. So bats, they just get a bad reputation from vampires and everything else. And speaking of that, October 24th through the 31st has now been declared National Bat Week, coming up into Halloween. Ironically, Halloween is what gives them the bad rabies scary vibe. But anyways, it's almost National Bat Week. They're just such cool animals. They're the only mammals that can fly. You know, you'll hear of other things like flying squirrels. They can glide, but bats are the only true mammal on the planet that can sustain flight. I mean, I could talk about cool bat facts all day, but you probably get bored. So, if you want to help the environment, help save a species that is really struggling right now, get yourself a bat box. I'll build it for you. I'll paint it whatever you want. I'll help you place it. I mean, I'm not going to get you one if you don't have a good yard for it. Sadly, sometimes, you know, if you get a lot of trees around, you got to have that sun. But they're just fantastic creatures, and they're not out to hurt you. They don't have all the rabies and stuff like that. Ironically, the number 2 carrier of rabies is cats. So keep your cats indoors, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to go down that wormhole. But anyways, these are my bat boxes. I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty successful. And if you want one, give me a call. See you.